Earlier this year, Errant Signal published a video on Burnout Paradise. I had last played the game years ago and remember having a blast. To this date, it's been my first and only Burnout game. The video talking about Paradise City being a virtual analog for the imagination of young boys to drive their model cars around struck home. I used to do that all the time with my Hot Wheels cars, especially when a stairwell had a concrete ramp beside it. This nostalgic tugging made me want to play the game again and make a video about it, hoping that it was as enjoyable now as I remember it being. I need to keep in mind that saying, you can never go back. Burnout Paradise is still wonderfully crafted, but perhaps now that I'm a little older, a little wiser, and approach games with a more discerning eye, I can see the cracks that I glossed over before. Well, to be honest, that just makes me sound pretentious. It's mainly that other games have taken what Burnout Paradise has done well and improved upon it. One shining example is the Crash mode. I remember loving Crash mode. If I was driving around and wanted to spice things up, I'd hit the bumpers on my controller and roll my mangled chunk of metal into as much oncoming traffic as possible, wishing for buses to bump up that multiplier. Engaging Crash mode now felt very flat and unexciting. I think it's because the same mechanic was borrowed for Saints Row 3 and 4 and became a lot goofier and kinetic. Sure, that game is about overall damage and not rolling your car into people, but it left an impression that became a disappointment when Burnout Paradise did not meet that expectation. It also doesn't help that aside from the stunt runs, most of the game content needing to improve your license I found to be busy work rather than an enjoyable challenge. But I do not want to sound too negative. As I said, it is wonderfully crafted, and this is its strength, the game space. Paradise City is a joy to drive around in because of all the intertwining roads, shortcuts, and most importantly, gates to smash through and jumps to soar over. Finding the other repair shops and junkyards becomes its own mini treasure hunt, and slamming a car off the road to add it to your collection is like receiving a new present. If only these vehicles appearing weren't only tied to your license progress. That I can just pump the radio and enjoy driving around at top speed says a lot about what the game gets right, even though Content ID is going to ravage this video for all the licensed music in the background. Oh, and even though Crash mode left me cold, the actual crashes themselves are still as thrilling as ever. Whether it's the cinematic finality of a head-on collision or a clip that spins you out of control, resulting in a broken but not destroyed drive-away scenario, the fun of wrecking cars brought me back to that childlike enjoyment of seeing things smash.